Bleeding Fool article is live. All right, let's go straight to Bleeding Fool, and then we will go to Super Chats. Sorry about that, everyone. Okay. Oh, shit. You'll see why I'm laughing in a minute. Want to know why I'm laughing? Here's why. Exclusive. Whisper Network member departs Valiant. Can't get in at DC. Here's Heather. Big news this time tomorrow. Earlier today, Whisper Network member Heather Antos alluded to a mysterious announcement she plans to make on her social media tomorrow. Multiple sources reported to me that she's in fact moving to IDW in an editorial capacity. So other than simply scooping the poor thing, I thought I'd inform my readers that I'm still investigating a couple things about this. Number one, why is she departing Valiant? Was it under controversial circumstances? Was it with Marvel, i.e. rumor spreading, bullying, and social terrorizing, according to multiple sources? Who's in the pocket of the Whisper Network at IDW that allowed her to get a job over there? I have a suspicion who it is at IDW that's part of the Whisper Network and wants her on their team. But I'll be investigating further before I reveal their name and potential motives. I will not post anything without multiple sources confirming with me first. However, the insider news that I can definitely share with you today is the reason Miss Antos is not going to DC Comics. According to my sources, she's been attempting to get in DC Comics ever since her unceremonious departure from Marvel back in 2018. Here's why they won't have her. Tom King's anti-Asian attack and Heather's dogpiling. In July of 2020, Tom King put his foot in his mouth, wanting to virtue signal to the SJW community and gain favor with the Whisper Network. King made a statement. He denounced Jay Lee, claiming him to be part of a hate group. Jay fired back in a now infamous Instagram post, blasting King for both his unprofessional behavior and for outright lying, notably by saying the following: "I'm writing this because I'm angry. These irresponsible tweets are not harmless. They do not just go away. They have real-world consequences. They can take away your job, your life, your memories. June and I were robbed of a special day. So no, we're not all good. Tom King, you dick." This is beautiful. This was a really, really good response. Jay Lee's amazing. Absolutely amazing. "As I've done privately," says Tom King, "I'd like to publicly apologize to Jay Lee for my actions a few days ago. I should have talked with Jay before I sent a tweet about him that put his career at risk. I made a critical mistake and I'm profoundly sorry, blah, blah, blah." So why did Tom King apologize so quickly? Not because he was worried about hurting Jay's feelings, because he clearly didn't care or he wouldn't have made the attack in the first place. It's because, according to my multiple sources, he was told to. More specifically, ordered to apologize by none other than Jim Lee himself. No relation. Chief creative officer and publisher of DC Comics. Not only does Jim Lee have a large amount of power at DC Comics as one of their top executives, one of his closest friends in the industry, going back decades, is, you guessed it, Jay Lee. Tom King defamed someone working for DC and one of Jim's personal friends at the same time. Not a smart move. So, fearing for his job and future opportunities, King issued a forced apology. King apologized. Heather Antos did not. The vast majority of fans and almost everyone in the industry sided with Jay Lee, and most felt that the apology King issued, whether forced or not, was the professional and appropriate thing to do. This is how adults behave. Many applauded this move, but not Heather. Nope, and neither did any of her close allies. Heather Antos and her ilk. Hi there. Heather Antos and her ilk continue to harass Jay Lee, continue to harass multiple creators and consumers, continue their mainstreamed hate. Tom King, Mitch Gerads, Doc Shaner, Tess Fowler, and more, proving why some knew a Comicsgate is necessary. Wait, proving why some knew? You mean K in it? Okay. Nope, Jay knew. I have the receipts from Jay himself. And this is a bunch of people explaining, why are you going after Jay Lee? Jay Lee took the high road. Now Heather Antos wants his head. Even after this issue that had nothing to do with her in any way had seemingly been resolved, she continued to her attack on Jay Lee, furious the King had apologized. Antos demanded punishment for Jay. and seemed to try and rally her cult-like following of frothing, angry fans to continue the hate and harassment against the talented Asian artist for reasons only Heather and maybe her therapist are aware of. Damn. Still waiting for any accountability from Jay. Still waiting for any level of professionalism from Heather. Can you imagine this? Yeah. Here's Tim Doyle, who evidently self-professed dog fucker. I didn't know this. He said he was. Would it have been great for Tom to do this privately? Sure. Whether Jay knew about Comicsgate before or not, he knows now. And Tom pointing out that Jay was working with a hate group is not Tom's fault. Jay's response is lacking and manipulative. I don't give a fuck about his dead dog. That's scary right there. Regarding this, says Tim Doyle, he doesn't care about dead dogs. One of her close comrades and supporter of the Whisper Network, Tim Doyle, joked with her in a now deleted Twitter thread that he doesn't care about Jay's dog being dead, leading to more harassment and anti-Asian hate against Jay. Many wonder why Heather, who appears to have a history of anti-Asian hate, including her mocking of alternate comics publisher Peter Simeti, the great Peter Simeti, will continue this attack on Asian creator Jay Lee. Here we go. Is Jay Lee aware of what he got himself into, or do we have to kill him too? Oh, this is awful. Liked by all these terrible people. Oh, this is dark. Very dark. Jim Lee says no to Antos. According to my sources inside DC Comics, Heather Antos racialized attacks on Jay Lee, and what's been alleged as her continuing to badmouth him privately ever since have not been forgotten. While she seems to feel she's untouchable, her antics have not gone unnoticed. Many people in the industry, including Jim Lee, have noticed. Because of that, much like her fellow Whisper Network comrades Mags and Alex DeCampi, she is not welcome in DC Comics under current management. Maybe we shouldn't be saying stop Asian hate. Perhaps Antos Asian hate should trend on Twitter until she issues a sincere apology to Jay Lee and acknowledges her prejudice, these acts of racial discrimination, and her whatever it is that may be described as anger issues towards the Asian community. Here's Doug Ernst. He says, Jay Lee, unlike left-wing ideologue Heather Antos, did not fail upwards for years. She's the last person who should be giving lectures on professional accountability to proven talent. I know you may be ignorant, Heather, but as one Twitter personality once said, ignorance doesn't absolve you from impact. And there's Penny Parker, the great Penny Parker. Great job. Great article. Profound, important, as relevant today as it was 5 seconds ago when I read it. Welcome, Trent. How are you?
Howdy. How's it going? So what's up? Superman's gay now? What's going on?
Superman is gay. Everyone's gay, as it turns out. It is. It's all about inclusion and kindness. Diversity.
By the way, I'm kind of with Jay Lee on this one. I didn't know he was Asian. I guess I could have guessed from his name, but
you didn't know Jay Lee was Asian?
I did not know this. I didn't know. Well, I mean, I guess you can make some assumptions, but yeah.
Bruce Lee is Asian too, or he was.
Hold on, but he spoke English. That's terrible.
That's true, but they're probably bilingual. Probably multilingual, I would say Bruce Lee is.
No, I never really cared. Like I look at an artist's art and I'm kind of evaluating if I like it based on the quality of the work. Well, this is kind of a strange article situation. How are you doing, Ethan? It's been a little while.
It has been a little while. It's great to see you again, Trent. I was going to say I do have a memory that I think it was you.
Okay.
I went to a comic convention in Philadelphia, and I'm pretty sure I said Jay Lee's going to be there. And I think you were excited about it. And you said, can you get his autograph? And I was so broke.
Okay.
And I had a piece of paper, and I saw Jay Lee at this convention. I said, will you sign this for my friend Trent? And Jay looked at me and said, do you have a comic? And I said, no. And he autographed it, and I think that was for you.
I never got it. If that's the case, I never got it. I was a big fan of his Namor run.
Yeah, that was good stuff, man. He was a kid. Like the thing about Jay Lee is that you could relate to him. He might have been the only professional comic book artist who got into mainstream comics younger than you, because he was really? 16.
No kidding.
Yeah, Jay Lee was working in Sarah Lee is not Asian, and Sarah Lee is not my favorite comic book artist. And shame on you guys in the chat. Ethan stole it. What a douche. What do you mean I stole it? I'm the one who got it.
Dude, do you remember Deadbolt number 1? It had all the spatters everywhere. I was so influenced by Jay Lee. Because he would do like large silhouettes of the character and just draw the muscles of the upper body with like the shadows, those hard shadows, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then he would do like a toothbrush spatter. So I was like, oh man, I want to get that. Like, I just loved that experimental kind of ink work that he was doing.
How did you do it with the toothbrush? Like, what did you do? Did you use your finger to flick the toothbrush? I can never do it.
Literally, that's what it is. Like, you dip the toothbrush into the India ink. Because you remember, I don't know how you ink now. I think you use pens, right? But we used to, Matt and I used to draw with that India ink. And it was just like a little black bottle. And you'd kind of like dip the end of the toothbrush. You don't get, it's not like you're soaking it in the, the ink, but you just dip the end of it and then you just do a little spatter. And sometimes I'd take it back and kind of, you know how you used to do pencil fights? A little bit of little whip. Get a little whip on there. You get all
wouldn't it go everywhere? Wouldn't it get on the walls?
I didn't care. The part of the whole thing was it was liberating to kind of spatter the page and then use whiteout to kind of clean up the areas that you wanted to have. It was like almost thinking like a painter a little bit more instead of just doing liner. I know dude, I was 16 and just trying everything back then.
It looked good. You made it work. You got it down.
It didn't look good. Nobody should ever go and look up Deadbolt number 1. And
yes, you should.